not drinking yet. It's still early here, and I got some eggs on that. And then I got.
Yeah, I actually behaved myself yesterday. Didn't have anything to drink, so
I had a couple pours.
starting
guys
early today.
Yeah, Jake's a little hazy.
Podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Gold Eagle Jake. Speaking of false starts, you got an ugly ass background, Dan, at your new place.
So like we already discussed, like you guys don't have any Super Bowl winning headlines from your lifetime.
That's why we have Bacta 1885 or 1985 Armagnac, so we can go back and relive it.
Yeah, stuff that's older than you guys are. Perfect reason to have it. And yeah, maybe the Bears should take a lesson here, because that's my Packers stock. Now, some people are going to say you pay a couple $100 for a sheet of paper that means nothing. But when Lambeau Field wants to do renovations and spend some money, instead of taxing the entire state and pissing everybody off, since they're a public team, they can do a stock sale. And they raise the money for the people that want to help pay for the stadium, and they don't have to for the people that don't. So maybe if the Bears were better run, they could have a stadium instead of spending millions of dollars for some guy to spend years deciding the best place to build a stadium is on the couple hundred acres they already own. You know,
all right, back to bourbon now that this nonsense is over.
Nothing you can really come back to on there. So.
I mean,
Bears
it's just
that
stupid
stock
arguments.
is not real.
Bears still suck. But yeah,
Dan's an owner of the Packers.
New background, new setup. We are in the state of Utah now, and not in the wonderful state of Illinois any longer. So, little new setup here.
Yep, I'm still working on mine. You'll have to deal with the guitars for now, but I'll be at some point moving here, and then I'll have a nice bourbon / guitar background.
This is also my office for work, so having a bunch of bourbon in the background for work is not a great thing.
No, you need one of those rolly shelves so you can roll it out when we record.
Should need to have all-terrain tires
Yeah.
to hold the weight.
My boss knows this is my office. He said it's okay.
I'm sure they wouldn't care, but I just try and have some kind of professionalism at work.
Yeah, just a little bit of professionalism.
A little.
out of you.
I gotta have some type of professionalism somewhere, and not having alcohol in my background is like the only thing I successfully did. So. But no, since we've last talked, we've actually been off for a few weeks with me moving and other summer things going on. But one of the last episodes to air was with founder Kevin from Beautiful and the Damned with our barrel pick, which has since been released at Gold Eagle. The Old Orleans barrel pick that we did live on the podcast. Not planning on doing one, but it's been out for a week by now, just over a week as we're recording this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How's Jake? Obviously, you're in the store. I know you have stuff at the bar. I know you've talked to people that drank it. What's been the early feedback? I mean, we've talked about wanting to do a barrel pick for a long time, and then this one just kind of came up randomly. So what's been the general feedback and how have sales gone?
Yeah, feedback has been incredible. People coming back for seconds. That's how you know you got a really good pick.
Yeah.
But I think, we all thought this tasted like kind of toasted wood sugar and creme brulee vibe going on. But I think one of the biggest upsides about this barrel and feedback that I've been getting is a lot of picks now are, in that 120 proof plus range. And this thing at 114 is just super drinkable. You can sit there and have a couple pours and not have it wreck your palate and wreck your movement or ability to walk. It's delicious. It gets better and better the more you sip on it. That's another thing I've noticed. Like first sip, you kind of need your palate to acclimate to it. And then once you go back to it a couple times, it just gets better and better. And I think that's what we really liked about it when we were recording at Kevin's. It's just we all couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, I brought it over to my grandma's have a bunch of family in town, and everybody that tried it really liked it. It's pretty tasty.
Super drinkable.
Glad we got that one.
Drinks below its proof. It's just a good all around bourbon to drink neat.
Yeah.
My dad didn't like it. He was like,
your
"That's
dad likes
terrible."
rum.
Yeah.
But what does your dad drink? Clarify for
Rum.
the listeners. Yeah.
He likes Dictador rum.
Oh, so it's probably a good thing that he didn't like it.
Yeah.
But no, we're about halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through, close to 2/3. Like I think I was in the store yesterday on the 4th of July, and I think we sold at least 8 to 10 bottles yesterday. People coming in for it. Met one of our YouTube watchers, one of 7 probably.
3.
But met him. He came by to snag one. So it's always cool talking to people in the store that I've never met before, just from the podcast. We've been doing some shipping with the barrel pick. We've been shipping some to Michigan, a couple to Wisconsin, and one to Nebraska. So if those are from podcast listeners, which I believe they are because they used the coupon that we dropped on that last episode, thank you guys for listening from afar and ordering for shipping, and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could
thanks
have
for
one
listening.
shipped to Georgia, but my friend's a deadbeat, so that's probably not going to happen.
Why?
Yeah, he talks a big game and then just never does anything about anything. Love you, Kyle. Order the damn bottle and have it shipped, buddy. You're good.
Order the damn bottle, BM damn.
Damn. That's right. There's your coupon code if you missed it the last time, Jake's
Yeah.
Being extra nice.
extra nice. No, that's good. I am unfortunately in the state of Utah, and you can't ship to Utah, so there's no way for me to get those bottles for a while.
Until Jake ships you some olive oil.
Yeah, until I get a shipment of olive oil coming up in a little bit. Yeah, I guess we can kind of transition then into. I've been out now in Utah for 2 weeks. Laws are different out here. We do know it's a control state, which there's a few different ones, but Utah has a lot more stricter liquor laws out here. First one that I learned right away is the legal limit is 0.05 out here, not 0.08. So they were one of the first states to really drop.
Hopefully you didn't learn that the hard way.
I did not. I had to take a written driver's test to get my driver's license.
Seriously?
Yeah, 25 questions, open book, but
Open book driver's test.
but yeah, I mean, there's good things in there. There's good questions because there's a lot of mountain driving and desert driving around here, which is stuff we don't get, and there's some different things. And
Yeah, that's true.
you know, they build their infrastructure well, so there are like HOV lanes and things which we've never dealt with before. Commuter lanes. So
Does Yuki count as a passenger?
he does not. He does sit shotgun, but he does not count as a passenger. So no. So that's the first one. Is the legal limit for driving is a lot lower out here. One of the first things, which I kind of heard a little bit about this, I know more about it now. So if your place that you own is primarily a bar, so you're advertising as a bar, you're advertising liquor, you cannot be under 21 and go in there. So, for example, I haven't been there yet, there's a massive brew pub just down the road from me. If you are under 21, you're not allowed to go to the brew pub. Even though they serve food and everything, they're primarily a brew pub. So you're not allowed to go in there if you're under 21. Oh, and
You also, speaking of beer, you also can't have beer over 4% alcohol on draft?
Yes.
Is that still a thing out there?
Yep. Yeah. You can serve higher IPAs and stuff in bottles, but a lot of the high proof stuff is. That's like wild. That's one of those that just, to me, doesn't make any sense. Like, when I was out there a couple years ago, most of the breweries had 4% versions of the beers that they bottle and can just for draft.
So it was super weird to see like the same beer, but the 4% version. And also like we went to breweries out there, and yeah, if you want to try like a stout, barrel aged stout, like they pour you a couple ounces out of a bottle. They can't have it on draft.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one of the first things. And it was funny. I found a doctor out here, and they had just moved in about a year ago from Missouri. And they said had been out here for like 3 months, and their friends from Wisconsin came out. And they went to a brew pub, and they're like, well, you can't come. You have your children with you. Like, they couldn't get into the brew pub. And they're like, yeah, but we're from Wisconsin. Like, they're like 10 years old. They can legally drink in a bar in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So they said, and then they just like look at you like you're the worst parent ever because you're taking your kid into an establishment that's alcohol. So I've gone to one of the first places I went to out here was a speakeasy. So they serve food and stuff. They had nice little live music on stage, but like it was one of those where you walk in and it's kind of like a bookshelf scenario, and the hostess is there, and they open the bookshelf and you go in the back. But you got to show your ID when you walk in the door at all these places. Verify you're 21, and then they take you to the back. If you are like a restaurant that serves alcohol, the bottles you have out front cannot have alcohol in them. So like if you want to like show like all the different vodkas and whiskeys and all that stuff that you have, you just have empty bottles on the shelf because there's children around.
But like it's behind a bar, right?
Yeah, but you can still see the bottles.
Interesting.
So, but you can be under 21 and go into those places. So, but that's kind of the first I noticed there. When my dad and me were out here the last month, we did a tasting at a very small distillery, and it was, like same in Illinois, you're only allowed to give out X amount of ounces of free samples. But
they're probably super strict on those free samples.
And it was like they had like we wanted to taste all the stuff that they had. So they're like, well, you can do a tasting, and your dad can do a tasting, but I can only serve you 5 quarter-ounce pours apiece, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they had to like when he gave us the samples, he had to give me one, and he had to give my dad one. So if I didn't want one or my dad didn't want one, my dad couldn't just take it off the tray if I wasn't going to drink it because it was cinnamon whiskey. Like since that was technically in my flight, I had to take it off the tray and then give it to him because they can't control that. So it's different. We've talked a little bit about control state laws. Basically, the way it works is the distillery, brewery, winery, whatever, they sell to the middleman. The distributor gets it to the stores, and then the state controls the price. So in Illinois, the way it works is the distributor is supposed to sell every liquor store the exact same stuff at the exact same price. Not saying that that's always been the case, and not saying that there aren't current lawsuits ongoing, which Jake can probably knows more about. If there's been some people that have been getting some discounts that shouldn't be. But the stores should be able to buy it for the same price if they're one store or if they're 60 stores. And then they can put it on the shelf at whatever price they want. The difference here is...
sorry, go ahead. So I thought you were talking about Utah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so that's what goes on in Illinois. The difference here is the distributor takes them to the liquor store, and then the liquor stores have the price already set by the government. So they're not allowed to change pricing. So the price you buy it from this store is going to be the price you can buy it at another store.
All the stores are privately owned, right?
State owned.
Still?
Yeah, state owned. So
state owned?
It doesn't. Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter anyway. They have a full control monopoly on all the liquor sales out there. Mm-hmm. And they're also closed on Sunday, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of places close on Sunday out here, though. Like Jimmy John's stuff is closed on Sunday.
But they also, and don't they all shut down super early during the week, like 6 o'clock they all close? The
liquor stores do close early, yeah. Limited time to buy alcohol. So it's different. Go ahead, Jake.
No, I'm curious more about it. Like you said you went into a store, like your first experience in a store, and I know you sent us, you got like an official letter from the website or whatever about how they do their allocated releases.
So the one thing, and I'm used to being in a control state because Ohio is a control state. I worked in Ohio a lot. So since they're all state-owned stores, you can go on and see what's on the shelves. Like you can shop the inventory for every single DAB store, like you could at Gold Eagle. The difference is you can't order it online and then go there and pick it up. You have to go to the store. So they'll always have the stuff out on the shelves. However, every third Saturday, there's 7 stores in the this area of the valley, basically the Wasatch Front. 7 of the 30-some stores are the ones that get the allocated stuff. And the third Saturday of every month, it's a first come, first served basis. You're allowed to get 1 bottle. And that's how you get anything that's considered allocated. The highly allocated stuff, so like your BTAC, your Pappies and stuff at the end of the year, it's a lottery system for those. But like your Blanton, your Eagle, your normal stuff that, like the stuff that Jake puts out on a Saturday too, every once in a while. It's very similar setup. First come, first serve, but that's the only way you're ever going to be able to get that because it only.
Where do you think we got it from?
Yeah. So.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So that's the only way you can really get unique stuff. Selection is very limited and a little interesting, I guess. So, like one of the best things I've heard is I was talking to somebody, and the state has so much control. Is they control every single product that you're allowed to get. And an example would be a girl I was talking to likes wine. And she really liked this one wine from this one vineyard. And she was at a liquor store, and they had this vineyard there. And she's like, do you have this style of that wine? Like, no, we're not allowed to get it. And she's like, but you order from that winery. He's like, yeah. And then she said he like pulls out like this big binder and starts like flipping through the pages like, this is what it shows I can order from them. And it wasn't on there. So the whiskey selection was not great at the liquor stores I was at. Very little Scotch. A decent amount of whiskey and rye, but like nothing crazy. Like I was hoping to see some Wyoming whiskey or something with them being right next door to us. This was one of the smaller ones too, I guess. I just went to the closest one. So I got to keep venturing out more, but not a ton of stuff on the shelves. I will say though, like they had Elijah Toasted sitting on the shelf. They had Elijah Barrel Proof sitting on the shelf. So they had some of those things that are out there. I can't remember. They don't really do store picks because it's state owned, so they gotta be available everywhere.
That kind of sucks though.
Like no picks at all, because I've known like Ohio does some.
Not at this store. Ohio does do picks, yeah, and
then they'll release at the same time to like all the stores, and they'll have like pick days where like all the picks will drop.
Yeah, it like the one I got in Utah was an Elijah Barrel Proof that was an Ohio pick. So stuff like that happens. But this store was smaller. They said they don't get much of those in. They did have a couple Mager's Private Selects as well. And then they had the glass case with some of their more expensive stuff. And the only thing I bought there was a 16-year-old MGP that was on sale for $120, just to get something unique. So that's kind of the storefront issue. But yeah, there's not a lot of variety. So if you're a big whiskey fan, you're not going to find a ton here. The good news is there's a big city about 2 hours away in Nevada. And then I found a loophole. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for me to get Gold Eagle stuff. Just over the border right off 80 in Wyoming is a shipping place where for like $10 you can get a temporary shipping location. And you can have stuff shipped there. It costs you like $10 to hold it for a couple of weeks, and it's a climate-controlled environment. And then you can go pick things up there. Unfortunately, Gold Eagle can't ship to Wyoming either.
Well, you can order wine and beer from us.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Can you send me wine and beer?
That's a good question. As of now, no, but in the future, actually, maybe. We did.
If I ordered some wine,
no, you would actually
for those of you listening. There's a lot of
going on. You would actually have to order wine, and then I would just pack spirits in your box.
That's what I was winking
That's
about.
the loophole, like because the shipping label gets generated automatically when you place the order, that's how we're able to ship to so many states. So if you actually go and order wine for the equal cost, I will put spirits in your box. Just kidding.
Just kidding. All right. Watch this YouTube for facial expressions on this conversation if you don't understand what's going on. So there's some loopholes I got to check too, because that place in Nevada might have something similar as well. It's a little bit farther away, but it's also weird too, because it's like they have all these strict liquor laws, and I was surprised that marijuana is medicinally legal out here with all the strict liquor laws.
I'm surprised at that too.
And then I also heard, I haven't verified, but it sounds like as long as there's a higher percentage of CBD than THC, it can be sold at certain stores. Which I can't verify that. I haven't looked into that at all, but I don't know if it's a certain percentage or what, but apparently there's some of that going on out here too, which is different. So the downside of all the liquor laws, the plus side, there's a lot of really good, hardworking, community-driven people out here, so it's a nice place to live, and people are friendly. Just don't drink a ton. But I was able to get almost 60 bottles out here in my car, so that'll last me until I come home for the holidays, and I might have to do a Gold Eagle thing, Jake, where I buy a bunch of stuff online and you just hold on to it for me, and then I pick it up on the way home and I drive back. So.
Did when you visited High West, do they sell bottles there?
Yes.
Okay, so you can get stuff direct from.
Yeah, but all the places here have all the High West stuff out too. Like they're gonna, and like they even have like the Boo Rye and stuff. I just want to spend $125 on a bottle of Boo Rye.
I was curious if they would or would not allow the distilleries to actually sell stuff. But
it was mainly, to be fair, it was mainly, there was about 10 to 15% of their selection was probably specifically Utah brands.
Okay.
So they're really pushing the local. And then it was all the bigger brands you see. So. Like not even Buffalo Trace or anything on the shelf. So nothing from Buffalo Trace. Decent amount of Heaven Hill, Yellowstone.
So Dan, the next allocated release, we need you to take one for the team and go stand in line and give us a full report on what they have, how it works.
See, I'm actually thinking about it on the 19th because that would be when Eagle 12 hits out here.
So I'm serious. You should.
I'm seriously thinking about it.
It'd be interesting to see. Like, I wonder if people out there are, if there are bourbon people out there because they're so strict and a lot of people don't drink alcohol. And I'm wondering also the quantities that they receive, knowing that it's such a controlled state.
Yeah, and see, that'll be interesting too because, Utah's a very fast-growing state, so there's a ton of transplants out here. I've actually met more people that are not native to Utah than people that are native to Utah, which I'm also in an apartment complex. That makes sense too. But I would think that with all the transplants that are here, they're gonna be pretty decently long lines. But I don't know. Like I gotta go to that website, find out what those stores are, find the closest one to me, go into it beforehand and talk to them a little bit and see what it's like and try and get an idea of what I needed to do to be there and talk to people in line. But yeah, it's a whole different setup out here. So that's the one downside about Utah that I've had. That's about the only downside I've had of Utah so far, a couple of weeks in. Climate-wise, we're the same temperature as you guys are, but I get about 30% humidity every day for a max. So, evenings, I hate the heat. If you guys have been at any of the tastings that I did for Whiskey Acres at Gold Eagle, you'll see how much I sweat, even in an air-conditioned building. So I hate the heat. And, what you guys are experiencing right now, mid-80s, upper 80s, and humid as shit, I wouldn't even go outside. Every night I sit on my patio.
Yeah.
There's a shade. I'm on the north side, so I'm in shade. There's a breeze down in the valley. And it's like the one day I was sitting out there and I was talking to our old buddy Roberto, and we were talking about the difference between Texas climate and climate up here. And I'm like, I'm sitting outside, I'm comfortable, and the feels like temperature is a degree below the actual temperature right now. which is something I'm not used to.
Yeah,
in
I love sitting outside, and unfortunately for the past month or so, we don't have a screen room here. So from the moment I can go outside, because the temperature finally cools down enough, that's when all the bugs start coming out.
Yep,
Yeah.
and we
so
don't
like you get no outside time right now here.
we don't have bugs. Like I've been outside every night. Like I'll go outside and sit for about an hour and a half because I got the second tallest peak off my balcony. Like it's like I've talked to people that moved here from Colorado, and they're like, the amount of money you have to live by the mountains in Colorado, like this close to the mountains in Colorado, is dumb compared to what it costs to live here. You know, like it's just so every night there's about a beautiful 15 minutes as the sun's setting in the west. The range is to the east of me. The western side of it gets about 15 minutes of that golden sunlight just bouncing right off of it. It's just beautiful and peaceful, and I sit out there with my glass of whiskey and my dog right beside me, and we just enjoy it the hell out of it. So it's nice to be outside at night and never see any bugs. Like most days until it starts heating up in the afternoon, I leave my patio door open and Yuki just walks out and watches everyone on the patio below, and I've never seen a bug in my house. So if you like mountains, hate bugs, hate humidity, and can move a big whiskey collection, if you have let's say you're somebody that has a very large whiskey collection that you're never going to be able to drink through all of it, just move it out to Utah with you and you'll be fine.
Well, you better move it with you because you're not going to find shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Is like now you can start drinking through it. You can start drinking through your collection and enjoying the stuff that you bought. I don't know anyone here that would fit that description at all.
Me neither.
But if that's you and you're looking for a place to go, I think Utah's a hell of an area.
The amount of FOMO Jake would feel to not be able to try all the new stuff and get it shipped to him
would be worse than like a ketamine. Oh God! There's new Heaven Hill product. Where am I going to get it from?
I'd just wait in line.
Yeah,
I'd set up my tent outside the store.
Yeah,
camp out the night before.
Oh, and that's nice. I mean, you can do that. Like I bought a little wicker love seat for my patio, and it folds down into a day bed if you wanted to. Like last night, if it wouldn't have been so much fireworks, my dog didn't like being outside with the fireworks. Like I was thinking about just like laying down and sleeping there last night because it gets down to mid-60s at night, no humidity and a slight breeze. Like I'm probably just gonna sleep outside here some nights. Yeah,
might as well.
Yeah. Then,
Did you have you gone out hiking yet?
No, I am. You guys, I'm sure you're gonna be shocked by this, but since the back surgeries have gotten very fat and very out of shape, so I am started this week on going to the gym. And I hate hiking in the heat. Obviously, I'm hot anyways. Like even if it's 60 degrees and I'm hiking up a hill, I'm going to be sweating my ass off. So I'm going to use these last 2 months of summer to get in shape, then start doing a lot of fall hiking. Like the biggest one I want to do is the top of Mount Timpanogos, which is the one I look at every night, which is 13,000 feet elevation. I'm currently at 4,500 feet. I think once you get to the trailhead, it's just under 5,000 feet of vertical gain. It's about a full day hike. But like that's the one on top of my list is because every night I sit and I stare at that mountain. And I just can't wait to get to the top of it and look back down at my apartment from up there. But you talk to people, there's a lot of just a couple miles or 3-4 hour day hikes that aren't too bad. That you go through a bunch of waterfalls and stuff. And so I got a list I'm putting together. And some of those I can do, especially if we get a cool night, like going super early morning. I'd love to do, but it'll probably be a couple months till I start getting out and hiking. I got some Whiskey Acres bottles. I got some Old Eagle bottles I'll take along with me. Get some cool pictures and some cool locations. But
yeah,
I mean, it's just like one of my coworkers. We talk a little bit, and he'll ask for some photos, and he's just like, "Man, being in the Midwest, like those photos you send me still look alien. Like when you've been in the Midwest your entire life, to be. I mean, it's just like every direction you look, there's a mountain, a valley, or a lake. So it's a beautiful, peaceful place. And I tell you what, every night, like I'd kind of gotten away from a lot of nights just having a pour of whiskey or having a dram and sitting and relaxing, but it is so peaceful to sit outside at night. Even in an apartment complex, it's really quiet here. It's a really nice place. And just to sit out and have that wind down and stare at some mountains while you're drinking a little dram is absolutely beautiful and something I look forward to every day now. Is that 8 o'clock hour. So
nice.
But yeah, we I know Gold Eagle Jake's going to make it out here this winter for some snowboarding, hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Went out there 3 or 4 years ago, and yeah, would come back every year if I could. I do want to make it out to Frey Ranch at some point. That was another thought or idea. So maybe we can do another barrel pick and go out to Frey Ranch this January, February.
Ooh.
How far is that from you, Dan? I know it's not super close.
I think it's probably about 7 hours drive.
It's by Vegas, right?
No,
you could drive that.
Is it?
It's way far north. It's by Reno, Tahoe, kind of outside of there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, I mean it's all 80 basically though, so it wouldn't be a bad drive.
It's like straight west.
It'd probably be a gorgeous drive.
Almost.
Almost straight west is a little south, but I'm thinking it would be if I just look at Frey Ranch. I'm betting it's taking the 80 all the way there, but
I know they're like an hour and a half from Reno.
Yeah.
I don't know which direction.
Yeah, because I think it's about 7 hours to.
My thought was go out to Reno, snowboard out there because I got family out there, and then take a couple days to go out to Frey Ranch.
Yeah, if I stayed on 80, it's 7 hours, 10 minutes, so not bad. But yeah, it's basically just. But yeah, I mean, I'd be up for it, or we can do a pick at.
Don't say High West.
No. But the bottles are so pretty. They got sparkles in them.
I mean, some of the picks can be good, but who knows what they're doing with picks. I'd rather go with like a more hands-on, smaller family-run company like Frey Ranch, something that's new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, all the other distilleries that I've seen around here are all pretty just small distilleries. So.
What other distilleries are there?
There's a bunch here in the valley.
I'm surprised with all the strict laws.
Yeah, there's not a ton of whiskey ones. But there's Bonneville, which is in the Bonneville Salt Flats. Beehive, which is in Salt Lake. There's one in Midvale, which isn't too far away.
So what are they doing? Gin and vodka and stuff like that?
A lot of gin and vodka. There's Salt Lake City Vodka, Sugar House Distillery. That's one that they said is pretty good too.
Sugar House.
And Alpine Distilling is the other one, and that's Park City. That's over in Park City. Yeah. So I've actually done the Alpine Distilling when I was in Park City last time, as well as what was the Distillery 36? I think my dad did as well. So, but no, there's like a lot of them that are just small, more of like gin vodka distilleries. The one that did have some whiskey was MGP, but so. Yeah, I was surprised that there's that many out here too, and I would like to talk to them, like someone that like actually owns or is a distiller, to see like the differences between distilling here versus what I'm used to in Illinois. But
what's your elevation there? It's
4,500.
Significantly higher, right?
Yeah, 4,500.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, a 40-minute drive over to Park City, you go up 3,000 feet. And I'm still at the point where if I've been going that way, my ears are popping every time I'm going up. Like the equilibrium hasn't fully set in yet. But, the good thing though is like when I start planning to do my big hikes again, like hiking in elevation, it's going to help me out quite a bit. Build those lungs up a little bit better. So that's one of the first things I noticed, besides the fact that I'm fat and out of shape, is when I moved in, all the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Climbing out, by the time you get up to that third flight of stairs, I started breathing a little heavier. I'm like, God dang it, I'm so out of shape. But we're back on the exercise routine. We're back on a good diet. So we'll get there. And we'll get out hiking and enjoy some things. I mean, there's just everywhere you look, there's a trailhead out here. So
yeah.
I'm not concerned about, I would go to like one place in Wisconsin twice a year to hike. And that was like the only place that you could go to hike that was worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, if you gained 600 feet of elevation, you were good. Yeah, it's liquor laws are different. I'll keep exploring, keep learning better about it, keep talking to more people out here. Maybe see if I can get in with some of those smaller distilleries and get them on the podcast. There's stuff that we would be able to get back there. It's stuff I could always ship you guys some samples of every once in a while. Or
Yeah.
I can't ship samples. I did start making essential oils again though, so I could probably ship you.
Good.
But yeah, well, it's interesting. It's a cool little scene. It's new. It's trendy. It's growing like crazy though, and I think that's why you're seeing a lot of these things pop up, just because all the transplants that are coming here to the state. So it's nice. It was a tough decision to leave all my family and friends because I know absolutely no one out here. This was me and the dog are packing up and moving, and 2 weeks in, like I feel more like this is where I'm meant to be, and just the people I've talked to around here a lot more in common with, and everyone here is pretty active in terms of wanting to be hiking or skiing and snowboarding or running and things. And it's been a while since I skied. I'll definitely have to hit that up this winter. So yeah, enjoying it so far. But just getting used to not having a big selection of whiskey, but I got plenty of stuff I can drink down and refill at Gold Eagle when I come home from the holidays.
Yep.
Hey, absolutely.
Maybe I'll get lucky and you'll have some of those Wellers or Taylors in the back for me to drink.
Oh, Danny boy, you'll have to wait in line at your Utah stores.
you guys do the red, white, and blue Weller for the 4th of July?
We did, yeah, we did. Was not planning on it, and then my bartender was like, "Hey, are we gonna do this?" And I was like, "Well, we don't have the CYPB." And he's like, "I just looked through our bar inventory and like found one," and I was like, "All right, whatever, go for it." So yeah, we did it.
Nice.
It's a tradition. So he only asked me too because we had like 2 or 3 people come in and ask if we were doing it. And I had totally forgot. It's just like the Father's Day release that we did on Saturday before Father's Day with the allocated stuff. Like I wasn't necessarily planning for it, but it just kind of happened to line up. So yeah, I guess I got to mark these things on my calendar and prepare for them for next year.
Yeah.
It's cool that you guys are doing that though, because like the Father's Day stuff, you can get a really good Father's Day gift for a dad that likes whiskey, and have a chance to have that. Or like the red, white, and blue. A lot of people, that's probably going to be their only chance to try some of those Wellers, or that's their only chance every year to try and taste all 3 of them side by side. And it's a tradition they've started with you guys. That's cool. It's good brand loyalty.
It's a fun side by side tasting for sure. And I think one of the biggest interesting pieces of feedback that I get is people are always like, "Oh yeah, the CYPB was terrible next to the 107 and the full proof."
Yeah.
And that's the one that like goes for the most on secondary, and people are always hunting for. But yeah, it's a fun thing to be able to taste those side by side. We definitely got to do more flights like that because I enjoy like putting things like that next to each other and checking out the differences.
I think one of the first flights I ever did at Gold Eagle, me and Jake came in because you guys had 107, 12 full proof, and CYPB in a flight. And like I got there before Jake, and we got there late. And Drew's like, "Well, it's our first time meeting Drew." And I'm like, "We're gonna do 2 of those flights." He's like, "Well, I don't think I have enough of." I can't remember if it was full. I think it was actually 107. It's like I don't think I have enough 107. I must have had a little bit heavier of a pour once. So I only got enough for one of you guys. I'm like, tell you what, I've already had it a bunch of times. Give Jake the 107. Just give me 2 pours of Weller 12 and we'll be fine. He goes, okay. Got myself a pretty damn good deal there. Yeah, I think that was one of the first times me and you, Jake, actually started going to Gold Eagle, is when they were doing flights like that.
Yeah, that was probably, was that after Whiskey Acres Masterclass?
Yeah, I think
it might have been before.
No, I think it might have been before because you guys were coming to a few master classes, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was an expensive decision that we made.
Yeah,
and then
best decision
offs on this show.
What would we be? Well,
if you guys are listening and you've either bought or had the Beautiful and the Damned barrel pick shipped, leave us some feedback on it. We've talked about doing it for a while. We tried to shoehorn doing a pick in, and
we kind of did, but not officially, because we did the Knob Creek. Wasn't there one other? Like, I was thinking back on it, and I thought there was one other that we. Oh, I mean, I guess the Whiskey Acres barrel that we tasted at the different proofs. Like that should have been like a Gold Eagle / Bourbon Matters pick. I mean, it kind of was. We just didn't put Bourbon Matters on the label, but that was, I think the picks that we've done. I mean, the Knob Creek's always good, but the Whiskey Acres pick where we did the different proofs and the Beautiful and the Damned, like those are, one, awesome bottles, but two, just a phenomenal way and unique way to do a barrel pick. It just kind of falls in your lap, and playing with the proofs on the Whiskey Acres and us just all really enjoying this bottle of Beautiful and the Damned. That's where the best barrel picks come from. So yeah, I guess this is the first official Bourbon Matters barrel pick, and I think there definitely will be more to come.
Yeah, we tried to shoehorn a Bardstown pick in. I think it was better that it came up naturally. But what are your thoughts on the flavor profile and stuff that we ended up picking? Did you guys like it as much as we did? Is this the way you would like us to do barrel picks, or do you guys want us to try and do an annual release? If we have to shoehorn it in or force it in with a certain pick or not, let us know.
We'll never force it. We'll never force it.
Yeah, no.
Money.
It's got to be something we all really enjoy.
What if someone pays us a lot of money to do a barrel pick?
Who's going to pay us a lot of money to do a barrel pick?
That would be so backwards.
People that want press for 100 some people? I don't know.
Sure. All right. If you're listening, and you have a distillery and you want to give us a free barrel pick, sure. We'll promote it and we'll drop a coupon code that our listeners cannot refuse.
Yeah, I have a very low price. I'm not ashamed to say that. Like ridiculously low. But if you've been listening and haven't got the barrel pick yet, or if your name is Kyle and you live in Georgia and you're being a douche and haven't ordered it yet, Jake, where can people get that bottle as well as many other bottles?
goldeaglewine.com. You can download our app too on the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Gold Eagle Wine. Follow us on Facebook at Gold Eagle Spirits. See all of our daily drops and updates. And if you haven't ordered this barrel pick or you haven't came in to pick one up, definitely do. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Feedback has been incredible. I'm going to be super generous and drop the coupon code again. BMDAM will get you 10% off this barrel pick. And probably the next couple times we record, it might not be here. So jump on it.
Yep. And Jake, if people want to hear us talking to founder Kevin from the Beautiful and the Damned, or hear about the barrel pick we did with Whiskey Acres that we talked about, or going way back to Knob Creek, where can they find our episodes?
Yeah, you can listen on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, any other podcast platform. You can watch us on Spotify and YouTube. Check out our Instagram and Facebook at Bourbon Matters. I think that's it, right?
I think so.
I'm struggling a little bit today.
Yeah, you're struggling. It's still early for me. I got a different time zone than you guys.
Is that because of the 3 old granddad handles that you bought?
It was.
All right, guys. Happy 4th. We'll see you next time.
Happy 4th. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers.